Oh, shoot. I already hit the button. It's a bit
All right.
late for that now. You just want to share it directly from my page to yours.
All righty, no problem. I'll do that.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, it's cold here today. It's like 26 degrees. How warm is it by you that you got to put the
All right,
AC on? That's
so let
crazy.
me tell you, it's 56
Wow.
now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's I don't know, it's the sun is out a little bit and it just feels a little warm. It even feels warm outside today, but then by
Well,
this
send some of that
evening,
here. We need some of that warmth up here. We're freezing our asses off up north. Good morning,
the
Christina, Holly,
good
Lisa. Welcome,
morning.
welcome. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Lori. Nice to see you.
Good
Hi,
morning.
Mahela.
I forgot that I
And
can see the
Jordan.
chat.
Yeah, you click the comment button, yeah?
Yeah, I see. Alrighty. So I'm gonna while you're getting everyone on, I am gonna go share it from your page to my page. Oh, there's a button here that says stream this to your audience. Does that work? Oh, I'm gonna log in
Oh,
and
yeah.
do all of it. Not right now. I'm gonna just go the easy way. Because I use Google Meet, because it has kind of ties all the back end of my stuff together, so I don't really use what's the StreamYard. So
Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome. How's it going?
good morning, guys. Hi, Mike. Hi, Danielle. Hi, Shakti. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Lisa. I know some of the names are here. All right, so give me a minute, guys. I am gonna share from Laura's page to mine so my people can see me too. Let me find Laura.
Good morning. Hello. Dawn says she's having marriage issues. I'm sorry to hear that, Dawn. Sending you lots of big hugs today. I've been married twice. I know how rough it can get. Jordan says, I know this is off topic for today, but oh my god, so the activity ghosts in my house has took a darker turn and I'm not sure I should take it. But I woke up this morning and not only had the heat turned off, but the AC was on. It was 60 degrees in my house this morning. Wow, Jordan. Spirits are messing with you. I would smudge the
Jordan.
house today. Yeah.
And as you say
Say
that, I
some
have my
affirmations. Call in the guides. Yeah.
so I have a ghost that lives here ever since I've been here. But I will say this one is it's more mischievous. So the craziest I've ever seen. I was actually I was on the phone with a friend of mine the other day and I was saying it to them. So I'm in the kitchen and the light switch goes off and I put it back on. And then the light switch goes, and I'm looking at it. I'm standing there, and and my friend is saying, "What are you gonna do?" I'm just giggling because I'm like, I didn't feel anything. It didn't feel, like it wanted to harm me. Just felt like somebody trying to play. What's crazy is sometimes I'll wake up in the mornings and stuff that's on my. I live alone. I'll say that. Let me preface by saying I don't have pets. I don't have any. I live alone, and I'll wake up some mornings and stuff that's on my coffee table that there is no way it can come off the table is under the table, and I'm like. So the other morning I laughed and I said, guess what? We're gonna go half and half on these bills of renting here. You wanna be in here?
Yeah. Start charging
Yeah.
them rent, Lloyd. Go get a job.
Yeah, like we're gonna be here if you're gonna be here doing this, We go half and half on these rents and
Hey,
bills.
clean the house better, tell them. Say you're supposed to put it under the table. You're supposed to put it away where it belongs.
I think, yeah, because I will say, so I have ADHD, so with that, you know that for me, cleaning is I have doom closets and doom places. And so sometimes I feel like that is it, like you're saying, hey, this needs to be cleaned up, and I just take it up and put it right back. But I've never had anything.
Smudging the airwaves.
I've never had, like it made me feel like I should be fearing or anything. But then I know
All
too
this
that
smoke, Lloyd, makes us look like we're waking baking this morning.
Yep, it's right here. It's very close. It's never far.
I'd show you mine, but it's dirty today, so I'm used to cleaning.
I broke my glass one. Ask me how many glass ones I broke in about 4 months.
Mine is called tank glass. So you could throw it out a window and it won't break. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
you need to send me the link for that
really
one.
strong. Yeah, it's called tank glass. Quite literally, you could throw it out, like throw it across the room and it won't break.
Yeah, my one, I broke like 4 glass ones. So this one is a silicone one because I was like, nah, ain't no way I'm spending so much money to buy these. So I went out and got me a silicone one. All right, guys. So we are gonna get started. Hi, Heather.
Yes, we're calling in the good vibes today.
With a
Crazy week last week, wasn't it? It was just flying, just insane. All the stuff going on, pure chaos last week. So
throw it back at the tank. Throw it at the tank. Alrighty. So
everybody missed you, Loy. I'm so glad you're here today.
And thank you for reaching. I was asleep last night because I'm an old. I go to bed real early.
Yeah, my my guest for today was sick, so they couldn't come. So I messaged Loy going, Loy. So thank you for coming to my aid last minute.
You're welcome. You know I'll always show up for you if I can. I always do that because we're here fighting the good fight.
We really are. We are. We got our dukes up all the time. We got to keep them up. What's going on lately? All these big changes, beasties around, people growing more crazy. Hell yeah, Daniel, that is for sure. I've seen some wild shit the last few days. People are going nuts. It reminds me of what Chen said to Andy, because Andy asked Chen one day, should I move to London? Because, like I would be closer for work. I would be, more in a community setting, to reach more people. And Chen's like, no, you need to stay out in the country where you are because the cities is going to be crazy. Cities are going to get worse and worse and worse.
Now, I live in the middle of the city. For me, where I live, it's like I can feel it, and Mardi Gras is coming up, and I'm like, oh my Lord. I remember last year, Mardi Gras, the energy, oh my Lord, it nearly took me out because I've never really lived in the city. And what's crazy, the biggest Mardi Gras float passes 30 feet from my house on the street. And last year, the energy, the float called Zulu. That's like the hip. That with Endymion is like the two biggest ones. But that one is so big that when it starts like 8 a.m. in the morning and it's rolling until 2. And I mean, it's not stopping. It's just like the floats going down. And I'm like, oh my Lord. And the energy last year, it made me want to go back to my 20-acre farm in Jamaica. And I was saying this guy,
overload or just too much,
sensory overload, and all the ghosts came out to party. It's Mardi Gras. All of it, everything was here. I saw so much. It's who.
And to be a ghost in New Orleans. What a difference,
And there is a place here called the Marie Laveau shop, and if you can see things when you go in there, you see them. It's like here, I'll be honest, here in New Orleans, just walking around, especially when you go to the cemeteries. I don't go to the cemeteries because, man, it's like everybody's trying to get my attention, and it's like it's overloading me. I can't deal with it.
Yeah, the energies are getting intense. Hi, Mike just says that's funny because the energy in Jamaica is popping too.
Oh yeah. You know what's funny? They say that and this is from people that my family and friends and so that I talk to in Jamaica. But Mike, they say from Chris Brown went down there with that concert. Chris Brown did his biggest concert in Jamaica, and they have been saying that ever since that. Things weird, crazy. People are even saying they're seeing UFOs, they're seeing things in Jamaica.
People are going to start seeing a lot more. You heard about that incident in Miami, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy shit. People literally were just walking through the mall and they're like, oh, there's aliens in the mall. Like these 9-foot tall mofos that are just walking around looking at people, observing them. And everybody starts screaming blue murder and just runs out of the mall, and 200 cop cars show up. And the cops are all like, oh, we're here because there's a riot. And not one person has a video of an actual riot. Nobody was rioting. Everybody was running for their fucking lives. And I'm sorry to laugh because I know people were scared, but man, this is going to get more and more common. People don't know that there is so much that exists around us. We can see like 1% of what exists around us.
Something about that yesterday, and it made me laugh. I'll say I dated 2 people since I've been here that's in the military, and one of them said to me that if we could see one of them, like this person, when I say the military, their mind is broken, and they said to me that said, especially Eastern Europe, they say if you could see the things I see, the person said that they've seen things that they don't know how they're saying. And when I asked them what things, they were like, not human things. And then when I saw you post that video about the Vietnam War, I have known about that because somebody had said that to me. Yes, because with the Vietnam War, you see when the soldiers, I'm not talking about, the video you posted was about the flight crews. The soldiers on the ground, they would go into these villages and the villagers would tell them that, listen, don't go into XYZ part of the jungle because people, whatever happens. And that's why US, I'm going to say this, with that war, a lot of the people that were MIA, KIA, they just disappeared. They even have like a whole thing they call a last battalion where one entire battalion went in and they didn't come out, but they don't really talk about. And the people there would tell them things are in the jungle, don't go XYZ. But if your army general,
that's why the military's like, oh, I'm going. You tell them not to go into an area, and they're like, oh, hold my beer, I am going in. And
the generals are sending them, you gotta go in there. And even when they keep disappearing, and I'm like, man, it's crazy.
There are things, I mean, even in cities, there are things that exist beyond our wildest imagination. Imagine going into the thick jungles that nobody has been visiting for, you know what I mean? Other than a few tribe people, it's been existing in the jungle unbothered for 1,000 years. And then all of a sudden we come in there with all our gadgets and all of our men, and they're like, oh, watch what I'm going to do to you. You know? There's a lot of talk even about like giants being discovered in places. There's a big talk about a giant found in, I think, Afghanistan about 20 years ago, where it apparently 6 fingers and toes on this giant, and they went into a big cave and the giant fucked them up big time.
So hold on.
There's a whole lot of people who were talking about this for a while, and I actually validated it through a person on hypnosis that was one of the people that were living in that region a long time ago, that there actually were 6-fingered giants that live in there. So I don't think it's a coincidence.
No, it's not. It's not like, but you know what? We are, I want to say, starting to wake up. Things are starting to, the hidden stuff is starting to come online. People are starting to see, and people better brace because so much is coming. So much, people are going to start to see so many things, so much more. It's going to be, but I would say people brace your minds because you're going to see things that if you're not careful, your human mind will go crazy.
Yeah. And then this is one of the problems and why so many people are actually starting to get crazier is because these things are becoming more and more of a common problem. Like they've always been around, but they seem to be coming out more. These portals are everywhere. One of the things that we're discovering now, the portals.
In some ways, they know that the death knell has been, because with so much of us light workers waking, remember, this is the first in Earth's history. So many of us are here. And remember that even with souls coming in, I did a reading about it was on the weekend, Saturday, and the lady had a crystal child. Her child has no karma, came straight from source, but she's having a lot of problems here because Earth is so dense. She's not used to the density, but she came in to help to usher us into the new golden age. It was the first I got a crystal child that was like, my guy said straight from source, no karma. I was like, she's 6 now. Her little girl is 6, and she sees things, she hears things, and she couldn't understand. So when funny enough, the session wasn't even for her daughter. The session was for herself. And she started explaining things, and I had to say to her, I said to her, you have to, start looking up. She didn't even know what a crystal child, what it was when I was explaining.
I couldn't even imagine what it must be like being a new kid on the block, coming here during all this chaos.
It's hard because she literally just came straight from sewer, because we are stuck on the karmic cycle for so long because we've just been like doing the same thing. And we are, you know what's crazy? We are affecting every universe, every multiverse, all multiverses, all universes, what's going on here. And that's one of the reasons why we have so many, what would you call it? ET, I don't want to say intervention, but so many people are watching us. You see, when we hit off that nuclear bomb in the 40s, everywhere, because they were like, the kids are getting out of control. And I say this, we here on earth, we think we're so advanced. The universe sees us as the kids. We are the kids that they're doing an experiment with. We are the kids. We are not adults. And they were like, oh my Lord, the kids are going to destroy themselves and they're going to put the entire multiverses in problems. And so what they do is they come here, they watch us, and they report to the other universes that, hey, Earth is doing this, so brace for if XYZ happens. And when my guide said that, I'm like, so they say, yeah, things we think don't happen here, it affects everywhere. And I'm like, damn.
It does indeed. Congratulations, Janet. Janet saying in the comments she just found out she's pregnant. That's wonderful, Janet. Woo! Congratulations.
Crystal baby coming in. Crystal baby coming in. Yes. And Janet, I would say this, you're brave, because most light workers who are coming here, especially a lot of us from, I want to say, the 80s on, that's why a lot of us don't have kids. We elected to not bring kids, to not have kids. Not we, because Lara, me and you have kids, but a lot of
I'm one and done. I wanted none
either. I wanted none. But it's because, Lara, we know that energetically, we know the density of Earth, and we know that if we have kids, it's karma. We're giving these kids karma things. So a lot of us choose not to. But Janet, you're brave. Thank you. Thank you.
I added one thing to my SRT protocol for when I've been practicing sessions. We did a couple practice sessions last night, and we added ancestral karma to the questionnaire to see if we would find any, and we've had a fucking hit every time since I added it to the protocol. Every time. And I'm like, oh, why didn't I add this earlier? Like, damn, because I didn't realize everybody has ancestral karma that they're dragging around with them.
Because, Laura, science has proven that right now we are carrying 16 to 17 generations of karma in our DNA, and these are things that affect us.
Tamika was seeing it as they were working on it. She could see them working on the DNA spirals. That's amazing that you said that.
Yeah, because Laura, when I'm not on
like,
here,
I can see them working on the DNA right now, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like, but it's literally hidden in your DNA.
It is
the ancestral karma. Like, what the hell?
So, Laura, didn't I tell you that with my family? So to go over my one, because I think I talked about it before, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna go over it. Starting to work on myself, my family's ancestral karma is giving away the first child. And this went back all the way. And what I found when I dug into it, so my mom gave me away. My grandmother gave away my mother. My grandmother was given it was a thing. And when I checked it, I checked to before 1900s, late 80s, and I'm like, this is crazy. You know what it went back to? Slavery. So in slavery times, when a woman has a kid, that kid, remember, it's just another addition to the plantation. So you have a child, if the master wants more money, he's gonna go sell that child to the other plantation. And so basically these women, they had to basically get in a way where if they had a child and was giving away, it's nothing. So then it became a pattern. Where they start giving away their kids. And I tried so hard. Well, I'm saying on my part, I still have family members that are like kind of continuing the same thing, and it hurts, but I can't do anything about what they are doing. But I found that out, and that was ancestral karma. And so I grew up not knowing my mother. Funny, my aunt who raised me didn't know that she had a sister until she was like, I don't know, 12, 13. My mother is my grandparents' first child, and she didn't know because they gave her away. And before that, my grandmother ended up giving away 3 of her kids. My mother gave away, she has 9 of us, and she literally abandoned 7 of us. My mother gave me away at 3 months. She just decided I'm 22. I don't want it. I don't want a child to stop my life. So I'm going to just throw it away.
Wow.
And that was ancestral karma. That was deep ancestral karma that I did. Like I said, when I got into it, at first when I started, my guys literally stopped me. They said to me, you can't handle this as yet. And they were right, because when I really, really got into it, Laura, it nearly broke my mind. I cried. I laid outside on the ground, just wallowing in the to finding all
Well,
that.
we talk about cycles, but we don't realize how big those cycles can be. They can last 6, 7 generations or more, just
70,
repeating the
Laura,
same
like I
behavior.
said, science now is saying that 6, 7 scientifically, they have proven that no, it's trauma and karma, all of that can last up to 15, 16 generations. So a lot of us now are fighting demons that we didn't put into place. A lot of us on this earth know we are fighting demons that our ancestors put into place. But I will say this, our ancestors, the biggest thing to fighting ancestral karma is forgiveness. You see, every morning when I wake up, I do like this and I say, ancestors, good morning. I don't know what you did, but I forgive you. And if it's going to affect me, please give me the tools to navigate this today. If whatever you did back then that I'm trying to work on is going to affect my day. I do that every morning. I tell them, I don't know what you did, but I forgive you. The energy of forgiveness and love is here, and I love you. And if you, whatever you did, is going to come back and make my day hard or make whatever, give me wisdom, understanding, tools. Because I tell them, I didn't just inherit your karma. You got to give me the good stuff too.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it's a fight though, and like I say, so you even see, and it's so funny, like even families that have things like, and digging into the Akashic records, when I really got into it, that taught me a lot of this too. You may even see in families hereditary disease, trauma, and karma. Certain things, if you dig deep and look into it, so I will say to anyone that's on here, take a look at your family tree, the skeletons, and sometimes these things people don't want to talk about it. And I'll say, even if, say, your ancestor, let's use Hitler, did something, whatever. If that doesn't, if family members don't literally stand up and say, we're gonna heal this karma, things pass down, things pass down, things pass down, things pass down. And it affects, but I don't I'm not religious. You see the Bible, these goddamn people put everything in it. The mother and father suck the sour grape and set the children's teeth on edge. The sins of the mother and the father follow the third and the fourth generation. It's there, but you got to read it with understanding. Every single thing that we go through and all of these things is there. So what I just said to you guys, I'm not sure if it's either in Exodus, Leviticus, or Deuteronomy. It's one of them, but it tells you straight up. The mother and the father suck the sour grape and set the children's teeth on edge. What do you think that means? You do messed up things, and the karma follows your descendants. So it's
And
real.
it doesn't even have to be you doing the messed up
No,
things. You can even just be a victim.
I never gave my kids away.
Right. Some of my karma was involving the Salem witch trials, apparently, and watching fear of speaking out, for fear of, you know what I mean, for fear of getting abused for speaking their truth. That is even an ancestral curse that can be passed down to people. Just fear. And people don't understand how many emotions are actually tied into these ancestral ties, who are, you're carrying your great 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 grandparents' pain so many generations later. So yeah, this is definitely one of those things we got to clear out for 5D. If we're going to transmute the energies, we're going to have to make a shift in this.
Yup. And guess what too? Not only ancestral, we carry the stuff we do in past lives as well. Because for me, and this is one, I think this is my most prolific story that I talk about, the Akashic records. I can honestly say it's going, this year 2024 is gonna make, August is gonna make 2 years I have not taken allergy meds. And if people are on here who know me, even from Jamaica, you'll know, Loy, growing up, my family used to call me the donkey, because that was me all day. Allergies. I have taken every allergy meds. I've been to every doctor. I've been to doctors, US, Jamaica. And I couldn't get any relief. And I was homeless. This is crazy. This happened when I was homeless. I was homeless, and it was like at the worst part of my life. my allergies were on me so bad. And for those who have allergies, you know when it's bad, you can't eat because you're stuffed up. And then you have to breathe through your mouth. So when you're trying to eat, you're literally suffocating trying to eat. So eating is hard. So I was homeless. Allergies were on me. Like, this was March, and where I was staying with a friend. They had the biggest oak tree outside pollinating. I couldn't even open a window. And I remember one night sitting on that mattress on the floor and crying. And I said, God, this is life. Like, are you kidding me? Like, and I was at my wit's end, and I heard Akashic records. And when I dug into it, what did I find out? I found out that in the 1400s, I was burnt at the stake as a witch. And a lot of my allergy issues was the trauma, the smoke inhalation and the hurt and the pain and the trauma that I went through with all of that. And so my body, because I died in that way, my body held on, my face held on to the trauma.
Wow.
And we took that deep dive in. And once I got in and I started to work on it and I started like doing my meditations and so, Laura, I haven't spent $1 on allergy meds. I used to have to buy allergy meds with my groceries every week. You see, when they say take 2 pills, I'm taking 4 and it's not doing. Claritin doesn't work. None of the major meds would work for me.
Interesting.
And August coming.
I remember in one of Dolores's books, she talks about there's this one lady with very severe allergies, and they put her under hypnosis, and the subconscious basically explained she hates it here. She fucking hates it here. So her body is literally, just because she hates being here on Earth, her body is literally breaking out in hives and reacting in all of these ways where it's quite literally rejecting her entire environment. She's allergic to 3D. Exactly, Mike. Like, just being here. And her body's just like, get me out of here. And it's freaking out. And that's where she got her allergies from. It's just the disdain of being here on Earth.
And I found out something here. So when you're talking about that, so I found out something recently too. And it was reading a Dolores Cannon book, put everything together in place. So for me, I'm going to say this. How do I put this? I have always been impatient. When I say impatient, I always feel like, why don't people like, this is why I didn't teach when I was growing up. So when I finished high school, because of my academia, everybody wanted me to be a teacher. And I literally told my aunt I can't do that because I can't afford, I hate when I tell people 2 + 2 and half an hour later I ask you, you tell me 6. I get mad at that. I don't like that. So I said that to her. When I was reading, I don't remember which one of the Dolores Cannon's book I was listening, I started laughing. And when I'm laughing, I realized that the way I felt is the way this lady was under hypnosis and she was talking about the same thing, that it's like, they wanted her to teach or whatever. And she's like, the humans, they're so slow, they can't get it. And I used to feel like that. And I understand why I feel like that. It's like, to me,
it's hard.
Things like, why don't you get that common thing? Like, are you serious? And then, but you know what's crazy? Every single job that I've had, corporate, anywhere I work, I always end up teaching people. Even when I run from it. The last one.
You've chosen that archetype in this lifetime,
yes,
know?
And
passing on the knowledge to others. Yep.
Even when
you try to run from that and you get sick too. That'll also give you allergies.
Laura, I would go to jobs and I would not want to, I would tell them teaching, no, I'm not into that. And I would always end up where they come and say, guess what? Based on everyone here, whatever, you are the perfect one to teach us. And I'm like, no, give it to somebody else. And I always end up in that role. So with that being said, what we had
planned to share this real quick. This is what I've been taking for my sniffles lately. My soul guides recommended I get it. And you know what's funny? I had a blocked ear for 3 days. I couldn't hear anything in my right ear. And my soul guides, I had an intuitive thought, put your Manuka honey in it. And I was like, I'm not putting honey in my ear. Why would you even suggest that? But then I Googled it because I was like, there might be something to this. So I Googled it, and apparently Manuka honey helps ear infections. So what's funny is I put a little bit on a cotton swab and I put it in my ear, and within 12 hours, the ear cleared itself out.
Honey is
Yeah.
a natural antibiotic. It's anti-inflammatory. Remember, they found
Yeah.
honey in one of them Egyptian tombs from how many years ago,
Yeah.
and it's still good from
It
thousands of
really
years
worked.
ago.
It cleared it out. And I've
Mhm.
been eating it too to help with my throat and the rest of the getting the funk out of my head, you know what I mean? And it's actually really working fantastically. And I was like, I can't believe it. My intuition was right. But also somebody else mentioned standard process. I got these the other day because Siddhartha recommended them for Jono for reboosting your immune system. They're called Immuplex for those of you who might be interested. May as well mention it. So since Siddhartha recommended it, I saw just now somebody recommended getting something from Standard Process, and that's who makes it. So I was having a little. That's the only reason I'm even mentioning it right now is because you mentioned Standard Process. But yeah, that's what Siddhartha told me and Jono and a few other people to get to help boost our immune system because it's lagging behind a little bit. But
For
yeah,
allergies,
all natural stuff.
for those who are suffering from allergies, something else that's good too, wildflower honey. Try to get, so wherever you live, try to get the local honey that the local bees, the pollen, because what it does is, if you live in an area and the bees, it has something to do with, the
That
pollen
sounds
and
fun.
yeah, the wildflower honey. Get the honey from
Oh.
the in your. Don't buy honey from outside of your ear because
Get
it's not.
honey from the stuff that's locally affecting you.
Yes,
Genius.
yes, because the bees they feed on the same pollen. So
Ah.
when they feed on it and whatever it does, it helps you. It helps with your immunity. Helps bring down the immunity for that pollen. So I learned that when I was in the throes of mine too. Somebody suggested, and it actually helped a little bit, but I would say it helped as much as it could in that situation. So not honey that comes from your natural area. And when I had done it, so the honey they sell here in the stores that they claim Louisiana honey, it has the amber looking color. So when I went out and found the person who sold the wildflower honey, it was nearly as dark as this. And you could taste the flowers.
Nice.
Like I could taste the different, you could taste
That's
the
the good
flowers.
shit right there. Oh yeah. Honey is
So
extremely
today we're
powerful
going to
anyway.
talk about soul lessons. Since and isn't that an apt topic with all that we've been
Yeah,
talking about?
let's do
So
it.
soul lessons. What are soul lessons? These are, to me, a very essential aspect of our Akashic records because you know what? These are the lessons that help us to understand our life here. Now, in doing what I do, I realize that a lot of clients, they'll come to me and the things that happen to them, they're like, oh, this is a challenge and what the woe is me. And I try to tell them that there are no challenges. To me, there are no challenges. There are only tools for growth, opportunities for growth. And so these soul lessons, I believe that we all come in with a particular set of lessons. From my studies, I have found, I want to say I can group them into like 44 major categories. And these categories, they can involve love, they can involve abundance, they can involve friendship, basically anything in your life. So example, say, you are someone who maybe love. Let's use love. You have the relationships, your relationships fall apart. You keep attracting certain people. And then it's like, you're like, you can't understand this. Chances are this is a lesson. Chances are there are things that you need to learn. And until you learn those things, you will keep attracting the people who you put a soul contract with. Because guess what? I'll tell you this too. Things that happen to us, our lives are not willy-nilly. And I want to say here too, God does not plan our lives, neither does God judge us. And this is crucial to say in here because a lot of people, when things happen, oh, God did this to me. No, God didn't do that to you. God, if you look at it,
you are God. You did it to yourself.
Yes, yes. You planned it. So if say, before you incarnate, when you're in the what I call the planning phase, and you and your guides, and you're gonna plan your life based on your past life and what you need to learn in this lifetime. What if they say you and them agree? And I say you and the guys because the guys have said to me that if we plan our lives, it would be easy. We would never take a challenge. And if we don't take challenges, we won't learn, we won't grow. And I'll say this, here on earth, the only reason we are here is soul growth and evolution. We are here to evolve as a human species. You see the love, you see the romance, everything is lining up. And I use Louisiana term. Everything else is extra. The main reason you're here is to learn and to grow. That's in the grand scheme of things, it's an experiment, literally, to see how much we can achieve as humans with free will. And I tell you this, guys, nobody else in the universe has free will. A lot of people don't, when I say nobody, but a lot of souls do not have what we have. And that is why Saw Laura posted something the other day. You know why Entities take us over because we don't value this that we have. We don't realize life is precious. We don't realize we are given a gift. So you see, when you mess around with that gift, sometimes the entities are like, oh, okay, all right. You don't
They
know what you
teach you the value of what you
have. Yeah,
have. They
you don't
really
know what you
do.
have. You,
Absolutely. 100%.
and so, and I say this, another part. Do you know that disabled bodies, the amount of people that line up for a disabled, the amount of souls that line up for a
That
disabled
was a
body,
very
a
big message
disabled,
from
you
Dolores.
see a disabled
Yes.
person, they have nothing to learn from us. Basically, they are here to teach us. This most disabled people are most of them are ascended masters. They're just here to teach us lessons and to experience what it means to be in a disabled body. So don't look down on disabled people. Woe is them. Woe is you. Look at yourself and sorry for yourself. Like, don't waste your pity on them because, like I say, they have nothing at all to look. Even animals, I'll say this too. I had to tell somebody this other day. Listen, animals here don't have anything to learn from us humans. We think we are the superior species. We are not. We are not. Even to take a whale or orca's body, you got to be a highly evolved spiritual being. So the animals that are here, especially like lions and those big animals, they're here to teach us how to take care of the earth, how to take care of ourselves. We ain't got no. We, like I said, we are the kids in the universe. We are the kids in the universe.
Yeah.
So these soul lessons.
They don't let us forget it either. They're like, nope,
No,
you
they
can't come
don't.
out of
They
your room until you sort out your shit.
They don't. They like to remind us. They don't let us forget it. So hold on.
No, but to be fair, you know, we are kind of like, it reminds me of that TV show, The 100. Have you ever seen that? Where it's a bunch of
I used to love
kids that were literally dropped off on the planet's surface and told, hey, good luck. You know? Like, can you imagine 100 teenagers just dropped off on the planet's surface with barely anything to survive, and they just say, okay, fend for yourselves, good luck. That's basically what happened to us. You know, they just kind of left us here while we also, you know, and I was going to say they didn't leave us here alone either. They left us here with our captors and abusers and all this shit, and they just kind of left.
Learn.
Oh, yes, good luck. We're going to learn a lot. We'll be back in a few thousand years. You know,
forget everything. You're going to forget everything, but don't worry, you're going to learn a lot. But you know what? The good thing is what we are doing, right? I want to say to everyone that's here, pat yourself on the shoulder because what we are doing, nobody else has ever done this. We are, what I want to say, we are like the creme de la creme. We are the strong ones because, again, in the Bible, when they said many were called, but few were chosen, there's a reason for that. Because when the call went out for earth, when people came, millions of beings from all the multiverses showed up. And when they saw what they were going to have to go through here, a lot of them said, hell no. No. We were the brave ones.
Pulled out at the last minute. They're like,
again, Laura, and I'm going to explain something when you said that. So, SIDS, do people know what SIDS is? With sudden infant death syndrome.
Yes.
But it's a reason. It's, as you said, Laura, there's pull out. So basically, the soul doesn't enter the body.
And also these two don't help either. You know what I mean? Those are also causing those.
People talk about
with the frequencies. Yep, that's another way that.
People talk about with the vaccine, the DNA. You need to understand the RNA. If you understand the RNA, then you would understand what they're really doing. But it's so crazy, man.
It's a big mess. But to be fair, like, I feel the reason why we are here by the millions right now is because we're here to make that change, to step forward and be like, no more, no mas.
So what I was explaining with SIDS, the babies, when and this is another thing. You see this whole abortion thing? That's another thing to distract us. And I'll tell you that straight up because the powers that be know that when the baby is inside of a body, there's no soul in it. Because the soul does not want to be trapped in a tiny womb. Look at the womb. No soul want to be trapped in a tiny womb.
Comes and goes, yes.
So the soul comes and goes, and it has up to 2 years after birth to attach the silver cord firmly. So the soul can choose to come and go up to 2 years old. Now what happens with SIDS is the soul leaves the baby at night because it got to go learn all that it needs to learn. And sometimes when the soul goes back and it looks over the life it's going to live, it's like, God, I ain't do this is too much. This is literally a case of biting off more than you can chew and swallow, and then the soul be like, I ain't going back, and so they don't come back, and then the baby dies because the soul didn't return to the body when it should have. That's what causes SIDS. It's when the soul decides that I ain't doing this, like and like I said, the soul enters the baby. For doulas or whatever they call them, that can see spirits. They can see when the soul enters the baby at birth. That's when it goes in.
Yeah,
Typically,
yeah.
first cry, that's it. But unless the soul
a lot of people
to,
are also, we're actually finding children that are still very loosely in their bodies. You know, one of the cases that we're dealing with a 12-year-old, he's not loosely, he's very loosely in his body, and he steps out of his body all the time. And the problem is that when he steps out, things step in.
Yes.
And that's the main issue. That's why he keeps getting these attachments, is that he's not even firmly rooted in his own physical body. And then when he steps out to sleep or to even daydream and just kind of do like a remote viewing kind of thing, other stuff just creeps in.
Yeah, because
and this is one of the problems when your frequency isn't completely anchored into your physical body, that all kinds of stuff can come through you. It's like you're sharing that physical body with other frequencies. Yeah, it's open doors.
Remember, you know what a lot of us fail to forget? This is just a biosuit. This is, you know, don't get personal with it. Yeah. Like, I understand, you know, you feel attached, but this is just a biosuit where if
you designed that biosuit. That's why we get so attached to it. You designed it.
But listen, when I say it's a biosuit, it means that if Source decides that, you know what, I want to switch you out of your body. Like, I can be sitting here right now and Source be like, you know what, let me put Loy somewhere else. And you see me talking and it's not Loy. It's somebody else here looking like Loy, but it's not Loy because Source can just decide, okay, Loy's time is up. And this happens to guys with say somebody comes here, they've learned their lessons, they have no more karma, and it's a viable body, it's a good body. Instead of destroying it, they let the person leave in their sleep and someone else comes in and take over the body. Because why destroy a perfectly healthy body? And it takes 9 months to grow a perfect body. So if someone is here,
well, it could take 18 years to grow a good body for a soul. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing, is that there's a lot of soul. This is why walk-ins, and this is something we're also discovering how common walk-ins actually are. And there's different types of walk-ins too. There are people who have a walk-in experience because they're so traumatized, you know, like one person will have such a horrific childhood that the original soul checks out and they're like, no, I'm done. See ya. And rather than letting the body go to waste, another soul who is even stronger, who has more experience dealing with something this painful, can come in and be like, I'll take over, then we'll make sure that this doesn't get wasted. You know what I mean? Like we'll and then it's that person will change. They'll go in a completely different direction in life. And and then they'll be like, wow, that was such a big catalyst in my life. And they don't realize it wasn't just a catalyst, you're a whole new person.
Yup. And another one that happens sometimes too is when somebody has like a TBI, some sort of traumatic brain injury, and then they have amnesia, they can't forget their past life. It's because the past person is really gone. And so the new person that's there, you know, they can't remember that. I don't know. Sometimes they do that. I don't know why they do that. Another one they have shown me too is trigger warning here, because I'm going to use suicide. So when people are suicidal, if the guides can, or the spiritual, whoever, the hierarchy, whatever, they can actually zap that person out to put somebody else in with certain people. Because, you know, in terms of, I don't like to use the word sin and all of that, but to them, to the spiritual being, so the hierarchy or whatever, the closest thing to sin to them is suicide, because that's taking a precious life, and life is precious. And
Yeah.
So basically, if somebody's going through that and they communicate, their guides and whatever can come in and take them away, switch their soul. And like Laura said, especially if they're going through, say they bit off too much, because that is 90% of the time what causes
Yes.
suicide. You bite off too
Mm-hmm.
much. The guys are telling you don't take on so many lessons, and you be like, oh, I can handle it, and then you get down here like, holy fuck. You
Exactly.
expect all of this.
Yeah.
You start going crazy. The
It's
guides,
like
they
being a
have
triple
somebody.
college major, you know? Once you're into it, you're just like, oh my God, I can't handle this. Yes, exactly.
And then the guides be like, if certain situations they let someone else come in. That's why sometimes you'll see people who they were you knew them to be suicidal, and then say they tried something, and then you realize like it's like a change. They're like, I will never do this again. It's because the real person is gone.
One of the things that we have discovered too, the Tegetans were the first ones to mention this, and then I found this also to be the case when I was studying some of Dr. Terence Palmer's case studies. And also Siddhartha even mentioned it during the chat with me the other day, my private chat with him, involving one of my case studies. And they were talking about the perfect possession. Whereas Siddhartha explained that the perfect possession is essentially an entity walk-in, where the child can be so traumatized by the experience that the child checks out, or I should say the person in general checks out. And whatever entity is closest to the body when that person checks out, the entity gets to claim the body as their own.
Oh, man.
This is why many serial killers and things are so devoid. They got so abused that they literally took on the entities of their abusers, and they ended up being a walk-in of an entity. And that apparently it happens because, you know, there are so many traumatic things that can happen to the mind, and the mind will fracture. And it creates these disassociated subpersonalities. And then when these subpersonalities kind of get together, they can make things even worse because they're all at odds with each other, and they're all just kind of being toxic in the back of the mind. And then like quite literally the original soul will just be like, it's too much, I'm gone. And whatever is around or attached to that body, especially if they've been attached to them for quite a long time, let's say that they had like a demon attached to that person, and then they have this attachment for so long, and then the original soul checks out, that demon is so deeply rooted into their chakras. This is what Siddhartha explained to me, that they can't get them out. And then when the original soul checks out, that demon quite literally gets to use the body until it dies. And then you get people who will commit rape and murder and all kinds of horrible atrocities, and you don't even understand that it's quite literally a walk-in demon. And not only that, but they can also, apparently, according to the Tegetans, they can use NPCs as well. So
yeah,
we also
take
have,
over the bodies.
They could take over the body of an NPC if
Do
they're
whatever they
strong enough.
want. Yeah, do whatever they want and just get out. And then
And
it's
that's
like,
why you get people that you're just like, there's something wrong with that person. You know what I mean? Like you could tell there's just something really, truly broken in their mind. A lot of times that's why. It's like you're not even able to get to the, you know, the logical mind of that person because it's gone. It left.
Jordan, NPC, non-character player. They're just fillers. NPC, you know when you watch movies and you see the people in the back that don't matter. The fillers.
They're basically, they're just energetic copies of people. They, you know, there may be an NPC or basically another version of you in an alternate reality that doesn't have an individual consciousness. It's basically like Aaron says, it's a non-playing character, like in a video game. These people are quite literally a part of the Matrix itself. According to Tegetans, there's only 1.6 billion people on this planet, and all the rest of them are NPCs. And they're mostly in cities and in these highly concentrated areas. This is where most of the NPCs exist.
Because I guess I'll say this too. That is for, you know, they say everything is by design. Those ones designed that for a reason too, to have the NPCs in the populated areas more loose for them. When they want to use the body to get energy to feed, and where do you find the highest concentration of energy? Because in a city you're gonna find, and the sad part of this with the city is the people they prey on the most is always the people, like the poorer ones, the homeless, like they prey on those people a lot to use their energy. That's why you find like sometimes, as Laura was saying, somebody doing something crazy, and you'll be like, you see some homeless people and some drug addicts do some things, and you're like, they're being used.
Yeah, they are.
And you find a
Definitely.
high concentration of those people in cities. Funny
To
enough, my
answer
dad.
Lisa's, oh sorry, I was just going to answer Lisa's question really quick. Can a
Mhm.
walk-in use an NPC body? That's what most of us starseeds are. We were originally NPCs, and we came in. It's a long story, but yeah, there's a loophole that we're using us starseeds. Where they basically abduct an NPC body, change its frequency, and allow us to to take over that body. So many of us starseeds are actually walk-ins. We just don't realize it.
Yeah, and guess what? If they're, to me, it's like, flipping the switch on them. If they're, just as how the bad ones can use the body for something, can be used for good. To me, it's just a body.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just how
Yeah,
you use it.
we call them baddies and beasties. It's just for hmm Absolutely.
We need to
We need to
recognize them.
recognize and teach if these things are true. We can also choose to love and be empowered by it. Yes, absolutely, Daniel.
Mhm.
And this is the thing.
Lisa
People
says she walked in the wrong body.
don't.
No, Lisa, if you're an NPC, I guarantee you wouldn't be here saying that.
But this is why so many of us have experiences being abducted. I was told by Siddhartha the other day that I've been on an ET ship, basically, because they were working on me. The reason they work on you is because your frequency isn't anchored into that body. They need to change the frequency of the body so it can hold on to your higher vibrational frequency of a starseed. So in most cases, unless you are actually, in your body from the start, you were abducted in order to be a starseed in the first place. Yeah, including people like Tagetans, they still do that, where they basically abduct you, fix your frequency, and then send you back without knowledge of it.
Janet says, are you able to find out? I'll be saying, Janet, I have never had any NP. I've never had anyone that I've done a reading. I can't say yes or no because I have never had anyone that I've done a reading for that son. So if it's someone is a walk-in, I've never had that.
Well, that's the thing is that I think there's whenever you come through as a walk-in, you also get what we call imprints. And you get imprints as well, where you basically are getting downloads from other people. Because if, for example, that young woman who is just straight from source, right? If you coming here straight from source, you have no prior experience being on this planet. So you have to get experience from somewhere. You have to get knowledge and experience and memories from something or somewhere in order to have a baseline to work with when you get here. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be able to handle your body, let alone being able to handle your environment. Okay. So you need to have some of these downloads from other people who have had experiences here on Earth. So this is why many of us get confused. We think we have past lives here, but what we really have are downloads from other people's past lives. That's what they're called. They're called imprints.
So we can
navigate Earth. So even if you are brand new here, it is almost, impossible for you to not be downloading at least something. Yeah, you definitely got some knowledge.
Yeah, you have to be uploaded. And in Laura, when you mentioned about being taken on the ship, that happens frequently to a lot of us, especially star seeds, because for one, our brothers and sisters, family from the other planets, we don't just come here and they forget us. So something they do is like, even medically, they work on our bodies, they do things, they test us, they do all of these things, like, because
that's why I was told I fall asleep every time I try to meditate. I was told that's why, is because I'm so used to being worked on. And when I lay back, I go instantly into that out, you know what I mean? That I'm not in my body state, because that's what happens when they work on me. So I have to meditate. I was told I have to meditate sitting up now, and it won't work because I won't be in that mindset of, oh, okay, I'm being worked on again. They're doing the healing stuff on me again. So apparently just laying down for meditating is why I can't do it. They said, nope, you can't lay down and meditate. Otherwise, you expect that you're getting worked on and you immediately check out because you're used to it. So now I have to literally sit up. I can't relax when I meditate anymore. They're going to make me sit up from now on.
Alrighty, so Laura, how much time do we have left?
Well, we got plenty of time. You want to do
All
some
right, I'm
reading?
just checking because I want to do something. You know, I can't come on here and not do reading. Laura, no, for me, for me, Laura, there is no. Are you crazy? You think I'm gonna come on here and I don't do what I love the best?
We love the readings.
As usual,
Let's do a collective reading. And then there was one person, I forget who it was. Make yourself known again, darling, because I remember you said you really wanted a reading. You were the first to ask. Who was it?
So you're
Remind me. I'll take one.
Of course.
Oh, heck yeah.
So I'm gonna
love a reading. They're already throwing out numbers. We are gonna do numbers in a minute, guys.
So guess what, Laura, you are gonna do not me.
You got it.
Before I start, let me smush my cards.
There's 111 people watching right now, by the way.
Ooh, that's a fantastic number.
Love it.
That's the universe telling us things are in alignment. We're fighting the good fight.
Absolutely.
With the smoke, I cleanse this place. I banish negativity, every single trace. Let the light of the divine fill the sacred space. Only love, joy, and peace shall it embrace. With the smoke, I cleanse this place. Banish negativity, every single trace. Let the light of the divine fill the sacred space. Only love, joy, and peace shall it embrace. You know what's funny, Laura? They're showing me a different deck for you. Where the hell is that deck?
We're gonna take some numbers, guys. That way, if multiple people need a reading, I have enough for like 10 readings.
Alrighty, no problem.
So we'll stick to between the number of 1 and 10, and we'll go through whatever number you have in your head in a minute between 1 and 10. That is going to be the one for you, the reading for you. We won't be able to do 111 readings today.
Oh no! So at the end, Laura, I want to finish with I have a meditation for soul lessons. So this is gonna help people tap in and find out, a soul lesson or so. Laura, I was shuffling and they told me for you I need to choose another deck. I don't know why. They say messages in this deck for you. So
Spirit's been giving me a lot of messages this week. I had a pretty chaotic week last week, and Spirit knew it too, because I kept getting messages from mediums. They were like, I don't know why, but my guide just told me that you need to know that you are loved. And I was like, oh. And another one was like, my guide just messaged me and they said that you need to know that you are doing everything so well and we're so proud of you. I'm like, that's wonderful. Thank you. It's so nice to have validation from the universe.
Yeah, I was shuffling and I just saw. And I'm like, huh? And they were like, yeah, she needs this step. So, messages for Laura. What does Laura need to know?
This is my favorite smell other than cannabis. My favorite smell. I love Palo Santo.
So, Laura, you have, oh my God. Buddha is here for you.
No way.
And Sanat Kumara. Buddha is here for you. And I'm having goosebumps. Sanat Kumara is here and you're a channel. So I'm gonna tell you what you do. You hold the light, and even on here doing these sessions. So basically they download you with light, they fill you with light, and then when you come on here, you send out the pieces of the light to everybody that watches your broadcast. Be there on the light. Once they see you, they don't even have to hear. Once they see your presence, that's one of the things. So you're like a light bearer here. You're like one of those people. You're an open channel. That's what you're here to do. You are here to help raise us into the 5D, but in the way of, like I say, giving out pieces of light. Now, what they're showing me is they equate it to, they sent, oh Lordy, you're special. You want to know how special you are. You're not just anybody, honey. They're showing me that your soul is like 10th dimensional. You're not just any old body. And you know Buddha personally too, because he just said to me, remind her that she knows me. So I don't know.
I do. as a scrappy little orphan.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No,
No,
you're
no,
not.
no. I quite literally, that's what, it's a long story. You must have missed my conversation the other day. I actually had a private meeting with Siddhartha Buddha, and he told me that I was an orphan that he met in back then. And
Oh,
I was one of his followers, and many of the people listening to us right now were also his followers. Many of us
so when I
knew each
said
other
he,
in past lives. So the fact that you pulled that card is
and I
I
said you,
nearly
he
fell out of
said
my
to
chair,
me,
Loy.
he said to tell you, remember, you know me.
Of course I do. And everything you just said a minute ago is what he told me the other day about being a channel and that I'm here to bring light into people's lives. That's literally what he told me on Tuesday.
And I have not been
The
able to
universe
catch
knows I
on.
like validation. So the universe is like, here's a bucket full of validation for you this
And like
week.
I
Holy
said,
shit.
this deck wasn't on my mind any at all. I chose the soul lesson deck and my tarot deck.
Everybody
And when
say hi to Siddhartha. Siddhartha is clearly here right now. Hello, Siddhartha. Love you.
so
Holy shit.
what they showed me too, they're trying to give me an idea and they're using images. So they're showing me that what you are doing they're telling me that to show the importance of why you're here, this is like the Renaissance. You are like the sculptors in the Renaissance era who would see the cherubs and painted the angels, because the seraphims, earth was under a dark cloud, and the seraphims, their energy, their light couldn't come through. So they had to step down their energy, send it to the cherubs, and then when the cherubs sent it here, that was their way of sending light to earth. So they're showing me that you're as crucial during this time as you were as that time period was. So they want to let you know that don't feel like you're never alone either. I'll tell you this. And this is special. I'm gonna tell you why this card is special. This is my personal guide, and it's how I found this out was so crazy. So Sanat Kumara, Lady Venus's husband, they rule Venus together. Sanat Kumara and Venus, they are like the, what do you call it, overlords or whatever, but they're the ones who are in charge of Venus. Now, Sanat Kumara, when I started to awaken, one day I just heard in my head, like, you don't remember me? And I'm like, I always hear things in my head. And one day, another time you have me on here, Laura, I'll talk about that. I used to think I was schizophrenic. I used to think I was crazy because I would hear voices in my head. But see, the voices in my head saved my life, literally saved my life 3 times, where I would have died if I didn't listen to the voice in my head. And I heard the voice in my head. And then I heard after that, Why You Think You Always Sing. There's a particular song called Blessings and Honor, Glory and Power. And I used to always sing that song whenever I get into any depressive mode or it's like certain things start going on. And I remember my grandparents used to say to me that they don't know where I got that song from, but when I was a baby, once I could talk and all that, anything happens, that's my asthma or so, they said I would just be singing that song. And they said they couldn't figure out. And Sanat said, yeah, put that in your head because I've always been with you. And he says every time, if you don't realize, like every time you're in distress, you start singing that song. He says, that's my, me being around you. And I was like, mind blown. So quickly, Lara, with the voice in my head, trying to remember, when was Zika? Whenever the Zika virus was, I was working in Montego Bay, in Jamaica at the time, and I was at work and I got so sick. And I decided to go home because at that point in time I was salaried, so I could just go home if I wanted to and work from home 3 days. So I decided I'm gonna go home. And with Zika, why I didn't say go to the doctor, because they had like on the news telling us, the doctor really can't do anything. You just something you have to ride out. So I got into the bus park. I don't drive, so I didn't drive in Jamaica. I got into the bus park to take a bus. Putting my foot in the bus and I heard in my head, Loy, take the other bus. And I said to my friend who's driving the bus, I'm gonna take the other bus. And he was like arguing with me, like, you're sick, let me take you home. And I'm like, no. And I went into the other bus. On the way down, leaving Montego Bay, there is this place where the rich people go called Round Hill. So Round Hill is like, you come off a curve and then you go down a hill and it has the guardrails. The seat I was gonna sit in, the lady had the guardrail through her. She was dead. The bus made an accident. Wow. And I don't know how the bus ripped the guardrail. Like, and the guardrails that they have at the side of the cliffs, the big metal thing. And piece of it, like the bottom of the bus hit it, and some pieces of it came off, like the parts that go down the ground straight through the lady. Like when I got there, the lady was like this. Another time I was in Montego Bay going home. This was, I worked the entire day, and this was in the evening. I was gonna go in a bus, and I heard it in my head again. Loy, take the other bus. My friend died. A cow jumped out into the bus, jumped into the front of the bus, and but it was such an accident. About 4 people died on that accident. But I was gonna be, if I had gone in that bus, I would have died too, because I would have been right beside my friend. So it's not even the cow that killed him. When the cow jumped into the bus and it caused a whole everything, vehicles smashing together, whatever. So it pinned the engine on his lap and the lady in the front, like who are in the front, because this is Toyota. They call them high tops in Jamaica, Toyota highest bus. And it's like a flat fronted bus, like, so it's not like a car that has the engine. You're literally sitting on part of the engine, like this is the windshield from you. Because the front of the bus just comes down like this. So the entire, all of that, everything was on my friend's lap and the people in the front. So we were there calling the fire truck. We can't get anything. And I'm like, dear God. So then a truck pulled up, one of them hardware and lumber trucks. The trucks that carry steel, they carry the to the construction site, a big. So they were coming back from a construction site, and when they saw the accident, they said they were going to try to help. So they attached one of them, the big straps they use to strap down the steel. They had a hook and they attached it to the front of the bus, and they were pulling it off. God Almighty! Oh, they were pulling it off. When they were pulling it off, it snapped halfway, and then everything just like shut back, and the engine block that were pulling out of their laps, they were trying to release them, and when the thing was halfway off, the piece of the cord snapped. The engine went and this time, imagine now the pressure of this big old, not even an 18-wheeler, because it's one of them trailer body things, the long one. And imagine the pressure, because it's pulling the engine off of them. And when it snapped, God, I don't think I've ever cried so much in my life. Like I screamed. Imagine being there, seeing that. People in pain. And when I looked at it, man, I was like, if I didn't trust the voice in my head, I wouldn't be here. Always. So whenever I hear that voice in my head, I pay attention to it. And people used to tell me I'm crazy. I have nearly been people taking me to doctors, whatever, because they say the voices I hear in my head is because I'm crazy. And now that I look back on it, I realize every time I hear a voice in my head is for a reason. Every time I hear that, there was even another time since I've been here, me and my ex are going somewhere, and it's like I heard a voice in my head, and I said to him, don't take that route. There was a bad accident on that route. And when I look at it, basically, if we had left at that time, we would have been in the accident. So every time I hear in my head, so that's why I'm just saying with the reading for you, that's why I use the deck, because I know that when I hear in my head, do something, it's for a reason. So Buddha, he wanted to come through again. He wanted to let you know you're special. You see the look. You see the look where the light is. And Sanat Kumara, he's of the light. He's like, one of them highly evolved light beings. And both of them are helping you with your mission. They say more is in here, so I'm going to pull one more for you.
What a story, right? I'm crazy. But did it fly out?
So you have Michael and Faith as well. And you have the Atlanteans. So you have Michael and Faith. And this is about, listen, spiritual protection. Michael and Faith want to let you know that both of them are protecting you. You need protection. You know that with what you do. You need a lot of protection. Yeah. So they are letting you know that they're here. They're protecting you. They're keeping you safe, so that you can carry out your mission, because there are ones who want to get rid of you. There are ones
I've noticed.
They want to tell you, don't fear them, because you're here of the light. You're here with the light. And you see, when you have the light, your light irritates their demons. That's why they want to get rid of you. They don't want you to spread the light to wake other people up. So they're literally saying they're amping up protection for you, because you are very, very special. Now you have the Atlanteans, and this is about evolution, vibration. So basically, you ain't coming back. Your time here is done. this lifetime.
Well, don't tell me that. I'll start
Yeah,
slacking.
but they're basically, you are doing so much. So you're doing so much that you don't have to come back. You're going to help us from the other side. So when you transition, they say you're going to be like Dolores Cannon. You're not going to be coming back here, but you're going to help we who are left here from the other side, because it's going to be, you're going to be able to affect more people that way than even what you're doing now. But they want to tell you now, why this, you are here during Atlantis. You're here during that timeline. And so remember, energetically, we are kind of lining up astrologically, energetically, to being kind of the same place we were when Atlantis. So basically, you're being given the chance to get off the karmic cycle. So that's why you're doing so much, honey. You're doing a lot because you're setting everything in place here so that when you leave, you don't have to come back. You're going to be working with Dolores Cannon from up there too. Just let you know. You and her are going to be a team up there, helping continue raise the vibration of the earth. And this one is crazy. Lordy. After everything with earth, you have another planet to go to kind of help do the same thing.
Oh shit.
No, but it's not what they were showing me. They were showing me like this was like they did a zap, and this was like way in the future. But you're good at what you do, honey. You're good at what you do.
I'm a system buster.
Yes, you're good at what you do.
Yep.
All right. So, who's next?
All right. Let's see some numbers, guys. That's a lot of.
Let me answer this question.
Of course.
Tarot doesn't vary. So the person who says tarot varies, that is all wrong. Tarot is structured. Tarot is never varied. Tarot has 78 cards. A tarot deck has 78 cards. So with tarot, even if it looks different, like, all right, I have 3 tarot decks. They're all tarot. They're different types of decks or different makers, but they all have 78 cards. Now, oracle cards can vary. So oracle cards can have any amount that the author wants to put. Like I'm creating my own deck, and I'm bouncing between 44 and probably 54. I'm not sure as yet. So it varies. So oracle card never, tarot never varies. Tarot is structured.
Yes.
Alrighty, so you choose.
Let's go. For some reason, number 7 is in my head, so we'll pick number 7 first. We're gonna go through between 1 and 10, guys, because we only have enough time for 10 readings today. So,
so
just remember that if you resonate with the reading, regardless, then you can just know that that's meant to be a message for you. So even if you don't pick the right number and you hear a message, then that message that resonates is for you. Right?
So there's a word for that. That's called Cledons, Cledons. So Cledons means innocent oracle. And as Laura is explaining, that just means that if you're here and you hear a message, and even if it's not for you and it resonates with you, it's for you. The universe sent it for you. So for number 7, this was a card that came out first, 5 of Cups, and then I have an Ace of Cups. So to explain these 2 cards, 5 of Cups, you're wasting your time. In Jamaica, we say, I'm going to put it so that I interpret. Now we are powder up on blackboard. Because that means do not put powder on a crow or a bird, because as soon as they do this, it comes off and they're black again. This is literally saying, 7s, you're probably crying over spilt milk. You're probably looking at, the past. You're nostalgically looking at the past and be, Lord, this was so good. You know what? In life, anything that you lose, anything that goes away from your life, it is only because something better wants to come along. So, like I say, number 7, here you are sitting here and you're looking at these 3 cups spilled into the sand, and you're crying and you're desolate. And you're like, whoa, this is a woe is me. This is you going, woe is me. Why did this have to happen? But if you look behind you, look at the table. So you see, sometimes this is saying you may be in a situation where you keep focusing on the past, focusing on what's not realizing what is in front of you and the possibilities and the opportunities that you have to bring about, even greater things. Like I said, look at this. You see here, she has so much food. Look under the table, food under the table, food. Even the cat, the dog is, look, the cat is about to eat the lobster and she crying. She crying. She
That was
crying
me
here.
last week. That totally resonates for me last week. I had one of
And
those
look
weeks where I could
what
just
is
see all I could
coming.
focus on was the lost stuff. Yep.
So Eight of Cups. So I will say, because this is a Cups deals with emotions. So this could be possibly maybe a love situation, maybe possibly a partner, some breakup or so. It doesn't have to be, but this is a sincere. This is a loss. Now I will say more in the
Holy
loss. It is
shit,
all
boy.
right. More in it. More in the loss. That's all right. But at the same
Oh,
time,
if only
think
you
about your future. Because
knew.
look what's
Very
coming. So
accurate.
here you have a Five of Cups. You're feeling, you're crying, and look at the other card that's coming. So now you have an Ace of Cups. Aces are new beginnings. Aces bring about new starts. So it's saying that there's gonna be a new start. There's gonna be a new start to your situation now. Like I said, because it's Cups, this is a new start that's gonna make you emotionally happy. I said it could be love. It doesn't have to be, but it can be things working out in your life in a way where everything starts to come together. And guess what? When things start to come together, it's going to bring all the other areas of your life, into union, so to say. And what I love with this, there are two little doves right here. Those two little doves. And see, the lady, she was crying before. Look at us right here, a pot of gold, right here. So this for myself is letting you guys know that, hey, guess what? Don't waste time crying over what's gone. You see, sometimes in life, we waste time hanging on to obstacles and we cannot see the opportunities. And if you have, let's use crystals. Find a tinier one. So these are two quartz crystals. And sometimes we're hanging on to this. And the universe want to give us this. Well, guess what? It's one hand. So if I don't let go of this, I'm going to hold this. Oops, it fell off. Oops. I'm going to have to let it go and hold it. So sometimes we have
I love
to
that analogy. That's great. Yep.
Yeah, the universe want to give you, but you have your hands closed and this is coming. No, I can't even hold it. If I move my hand, look, fell off again. So I have to let this go. I know when I let this go, looky here, securely in my hand. Can it fall? So that is life sometimes. Alrighty, who else?
That's beautiful. All right.
Oh, they say I'm breaking up?
No, you're okay now. It was a little bit, but it's okay. We understood 99% of it. Your video kept freezing a little, but it's better now.
Oh, I have cocks in my defense. In my defense, I have Cox internet. I cannot get AT&T's dial-up here. Who has ever heard of dial-up since 1990? Dial-up 5 megabits.
I don't know why I'm feeling 3. 3 is a good one. Let's do one for the 3s.
All right. So 3. There is some anxiety for my 3 people. Clan 3. For other people who are Clan 3. There's a little bit of anxiety. Why are you anxious? Because my cards keep spazzing. 3, you're also a little bit sad. Why are you sad? So many cards came out here. I'm going to try to go through all of them. Yeah, for 3, I'm tuning in, and the first thing I want to cry. I feel sadness. I feel like there's a lot of sadness about a decision that has to be made. So let me look at these cards. All right, 3 is you got a narcissist in your way. You have a narcissist in your way. So we have a Knight of Swords. And for me, I like to call this the narcissistic card, or one of the narcissistic cards. No, this is indicating that you got somebody around you that you need to walk away from. There are energies around you that are not aligned with you, that you need to love yourself. 3 is you need to go look in the mirror and ask yourself, do I love this version of me that I see? And I bet you're going to look and realize not, because the version of you that you're looking at is based on what somebody else wants you to be. Now, I say this person is very narcissistic. This person does not care about you or your feelings. This person is like, they don't care. They're only for themselves. They're only for their best interest. So the universe is saying that you need to look. You see how the stable here? I wouldn't want the stable because there's a gap in those cups. And I don't like gap in anything for me. I want a gap. So looking at the stable, you got to look at it and be like, well, And look, steam only coming out of one cup. So when it gets cold, what you gonna do? Oh no, you gotta look at this table and be like, you know what? I am gonna go find my 9 cups because this ain't gonna work for me. In life, sometimes it's easier to walk away than to keep hanging on. Don't keep hanging on to something that's hurting you. Why? I like to say, do not set yourself on fire to keep people warm. Because you see, when you burn out, they go look for somebody else to set themselves on fire. They're not even gonna put your ash in a box and bury it. They probably throw some water. They're gonna put your ash in a box and bury it. They probably either leave it there or throw some water and walk off. And guess what? Go look the next victim to set themselves on fire. So this is saying you have to move away from this situation. Now you have 2 cards that are telling you new start. And what's crazy? 2 of these cards are cups cards too. So love and respect yourself to walk away from anything that doesn't serve you. It doesn't matter what it is. Now I would say some of you don't want to walk away because of money, because of security, financial security. If you let that stand in your way, you will never be who you know you can be. So it is time, like I said, it's time to look at the table. Look at the table too. Who wants a trestle table in this day and age? Are we in the medieval ages? You don't want that table. I want a nice mahogany table that's cut. I don't want this table. What am I doing with this? I don't have a castle. No, not even chairs. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna look at this table? It's not prepared for you. There are no chairs. There's nothing. So you have to walk away. But then when you walk away, look what's gonna happen. You have an Ace of Pentacles and you have a Page of Cups. So I'll start with the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups, this represents a new beginning, so to say. This is where you look at your canvas. You see this page here and it has all these paints. This is telling you, look at your canvas. You like the picture you see on it? Did you paint it? How many people's brush strokes are on it? No, when you look at that, you make a choice. This is not what I want my canvas to be. All right, go down to Lowe's, buy a bucket of white paint and come back and paint the canvas and start anew. So this now is saying that you are getting the chance to do life on your own terms. Life is giving you the chance to paint the picture that you're the architect of your life. You're the author of your life. Don't let anybody else write your book. If you write your book or if somebody writes your book or paint your picture, it's not you. That is the version of what they see of you or what they want. Your canvas, your life. I like to say here on earth, it's your life purpose. I have never been up there talking to my guys and heard them say our life purpose. Oh no, honey. It's your life purpose. And then the final card, Ace of Pentacles. This is again a new start. This is a divine wish. How many of us, you ever see, look how lucky you are. The universe giving you money out of the sky. This is like you pray and God delivers. This is trying to tell you that, listen, you just gotta have faith. You have to have faith. You just have to believe that when you step out. There was a point in my life I went homeless. I had to leave a situation. It's when I left. To tell you how bad my life was, I didn't have fear. I had to call a friend to Uber me out. And guess what? I couldn't let that deter me. When I left, I didn't even know where my next meal. Like I said, I didn't have money. I was in a situation where I was like cut off completely and I had to call a friend. Say, if you don't get me out of here, I'm gonna die. My friend got me an Uber and the Uber says it's coming in 7 minutes. And all I could do was run around the house. And you know, the first thing I took up my computer, my cars, not even clothes. I took up my decks and my card. And I didn't know my way out, but I got out of there. Right now I'm sitting in my home office. Right now I'm sitting in a 2-bedroom house. But people told me I couldn't do, especially given my immigrant situation. So I'm going to tell you this. Don't stay in anything that takes away from you. Anything that don't do that. So that's about 3 people.
Love it. Damn. Mic drop, Loy. Holy shit. That was a great one. And there's people that didn't even get 3 and they're like, damn, that message was for me. So perfect. Thank you. Let's pick another number, guys. I can't even speak today. Another one.
Hi, Elizabeth. That name is, ooh.
Elizabeth, she's on Facebook now. She's usually on YouTube. Nice to see you, honey. Welcome to the other chat.
What's the number, Laura?
We're gonna go with 4. It's for the 4s.
You are welcome, Laura. Laurie says I needed to hear that more than you know. This is why I do this. I'll say that's why, Laura. Whenever you invite me or here, readings have to go on. It's not an if nor a but nor a maybe.
Nice to meet you, Elle.
All right, so
we'll just remember we're gonna go with 4, but remember that if this resonates with you, that is something you needed to hear regardless.
For some reason, why my deck keep not behaving? So 4, rest and relaxation. And I will say, I'm still shuffling. You know, they say physical sleep is no good when the soul is tired. So I will say that for my 4s, y'all need some rest and relaxation. When was the last time you took some downtime? So many cards. Why so many? I don't want so many cards, universe. All right, a lot of cards came out, but I'm gonna use some of them. Jeez, this is a lot. Nah, hold on. Let me start over. Like 10 cards came out. I don't want to read 10 cards. Listen to me. Give me 2 cards. Me don't want the whole deck. Sorry, that's spatula. I talk to my decks and my guides, everything. Like, look. Laura, they jammed the deck.
What? Is that like an energy block for a tarot deck? Is that what it's like?
Look. And I want. No, seriously. All right.
Oh,
I'm gonna
that's
switch
funny.
the deck. Maybe they want me to use another deck. I'm gonna use my Akashic Records deck because that typical of the card, and the cards are like stuck on each other.
They're like, no, wrong deck.
All right, you see? Oh, all right. This was the deck. Give me another card.
Tarot cards are always a bit feisty. You know, that's what I like about them so much. They don't beat around the bush.
You just, as you said, tarot cards. I remember. It's all right. Maybe this one wants to rest. I have another one. I draw for the other one. And look, this one is shuffling actually. All right.
I know, everybody's laughing about it. My face is starting to hurt. Whenever Loy comes on, I start laughing so hard for like 2 hours and my face hurts at the end.
My kids, Laura, if you were to be around me, my kids are like, everything I say, it's just me. I can't help it. I can't help being jokey.
You're being authentic. I love it.
You know, because to me, there's so much hurt and pain and stress and all of that here. I don't subscribe to that, so yeah, I'm a laugher. Yeah. All righty. So
I laugh in the face of danger, as they say.
Laura, I told my friend the other day, when you come to my funeral, I'm gonna be like this in the coffin. I tell her I'm gonna die with a laugh on my face, and she's like, "Oh my Lord." Somebody messaged me. We were friends from 1995 in high school, and she messaged me and said, "Lord, have you changed?" I'm like, I laughed. I sent her a note, a voice note laughing. I might change. Are you crazy? So, what number is it?
Only gotten weirder.
Only weirder. It's number 4.
Yes, it was 4. Yes, it was the number
right,
that,
so my number
that
4
popped into my head.
You have the violet flame activation going on right here. So some of you may be having a little...
Right here, baby.
Things are feeling like this. You're feeling like, oh my Lord, you're feeling like you're being burnt alive. You're feeling like, so much is going on. A lot of stuff is going on, but that is all right. You're just being purified. You're just being purified. Look at gold.
I was told that I'm liked by Saint Germain this week.
Yeah,
told me that. Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, purple flame. Imagine that.
But Zadkiel is helping you too. So Zadkiel is working, and I'm seeing him. He's on your
Fuck
sorry.
off, Loy. I can't believe you just said that.
What? He's beside you, but sorry, my brain
And
mixed
Arthur
up.
told me to call Zadkiel for help. I'm not even. I shit you not. You did this the last time you were on the podcast with Dendera, and you just start pulling all this channeled information out, and I'm like, how the fuck did you do that? Holy shit!
That shows you. Guess what, Laura? I always say to people when this happens, that shows you the real from the fake. The fact that I. But anyway,
I've never fucking heard of Zadkiel. That's not to be disrespectful, but I'm just in shock and awe right now. I can't believe that you just said Zadkiel. That's literally who he told me that one of the people he told me to call for help.
Because I saw him. He's beside. He's grinning. He's. Laura, yes, that side. That's it. You looked at him. You and him. He's right there. But why I couldn't tell you the side, I'll say this. So one of my flaws, and I can't understand how I can be so intelligent, but if I want to know left and right, I have to look at my fingers. I can't tell left and right without looking. So I have 2 different size fingernails. And so I wanted to tell you that he's on your right, but my brain couldn't put it together. But when you did like this, the 2 of you eyes did like this. So you were the reason why they caused this with this deck, so I couldn't use it. So I could use this deck for them to give you the message. You see how spirit works, guys? Do you see how spirit works? They jumped my tarot deck.
Shit.
But Laura, every time I come on here, didn't the last time I tell you about Egypt?
Yeah, you freaked me the fuck out last time, and now you freaked me out even more this time. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's how somebody says, gotta love how spirit works. Yeah. So they jam my deck. Now I will say this, guys, you see why when you're doing things like these, you pay attention to everything, because I'm shuffling. I know how my deck feels. And the deck would not let me shuffle. The cards, look at these cards. These cards are slippery. And the cards were stuck on each other. It wouldn't move. It wouldn't do like this. Because they needed you.
I just had the thought, while our powers are growing, so are theirs. With this whole shift and these raising frequencies, I just had the thought right now is that's why things are getting crazy right now. It's not just our power that's growing, it's theirs too.
So, yeah. He's laughing. He's still there, though. He's still there.
Holy shit.
He's excited. He's like, finally.
I'm in absolute shock right now. I can't believe you said that. I didn't talk about it on the podcast, so nobody else fucking knew.
But I say that is why I love doing what I do. And for me, I get this all the time. Like, I'll do readings and my client will be like, the fuck you knew that? I'm like, I don't know. I just heard it. If I say, this is me, Laura, anything I see, hear, feel, I blurt it out. Come back.
I even asked Siddhartha how to spell it because I'd never even heard of
Zadkiel.
I didn't even know, because I didn't even know who the fuck he was talking about. Holy shit.
So when Saint Germain can't go, he sends Zadkiel. Zadkiel is our purple. So let's get on with the reading.
Purple is my favorite color. Purple and teal are my favorite colors.
For a reason. Purple is my favorite color. Do you see my business? Everything for my business is purple.
Holy shit, Loy.
And by the way, my business name, Sanat Kumara, gave me that before I even had a business. When he gave it to me, I was like, what's this for? And he was like, you're going to have a business. And he told me, and I had to fight tooth and nail with my ex because my ex wanted to change the name. The Divine Alchemist. I got that with a fairy wand. You see, if you go on my thing, you see with a fairy wand. They gave me that from. But yeah, honey.
Holy crap. I'm still like shocked. I feel like the tarot cards just slapped me.
Oh, and Mike said, I don't know who that is. He's one of the archangels. You can go look him up. It's spelled Zadkiel. So he and Saint Germain work with the violet flame. Now, back to this card. So this is the Violet Flame card. This card talks about a karmic release, a radical transformation. Laura, people are going to be falling out of your life like flies. But that's all right. The people are leaving so the right people can come. It's like university, Laura. When you go to university,
I can't even right now. I can't even look at you. Honestly, I lost 3 friends last week. They blocked me on everything with no warning or explanation and will not tell me why. They'll tell other people why, because people are forbidden from telling me why they're upset with me. They will have they won't tell me anything.
When people block me,
holy shit, Loy.
When people block me, I laugh and I say, oh, fucking hell, the trash took itself out. Thank you.
Wow.
Holy so you're gonna find people fall away. You're gonna find all of because you're being purified.
Siddhartha even talked to me about it. He's like, I know you're hurting right now because your friends have left, but I'm telling you right now, you did nothing wrong, and this is part of the lesson that they needed to learn, and lesson that you needed to learn, and this is meant to be because this is a better timeline for you to be in.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, thank you. That's all I needed to hear, Siddhartha. Thank you so much. And you just again validated it for me, and you said almost the exact same thing that he did. You're fucking on fire today, Loy. She's just like channeling the whole time we're talking to her, like.
So I look at it, Lara. You know, I'm practical, and I like to put things in a practical way. You go to university. I'm happy. Oh yes, year 1. Me and you have 50 friends, and you're there, and you go through year 1. It's a 5-year program. Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. Oh, my graduation cap is on. I'm gonna graduate, and you look around, and your friends are at year 1. You're gonna go start over? Or you're gonna move on to people that are on your frequency, people that have graduated? You're not gonna go start university over. When you get to year 5 and you realize that your friends are still in year 1, you are gonna move on. Frequencies are changing. Yes, and guess what, exactly. Laura? You're stuck with those people. You're free. You wouldn't call in the right people on the right frequency. So yeah, Jermaine and Zadkiel had to your life. They had to immerse you in the violet flame. Now with flames, I'll say this: you're being purified. You see gold? When gold comes out of the earth, it's a lump. It's a dirty lump. It is a dirty lump. And guess what they got to do with the gold? They have to put the gold in fire. They have to smelt it to get the dross out. Do you know the temperature that gold takes to smelt? Give you a perfect example. And Notre Dame burned down, and the Christians were like, oh, God is good because the cross didn't burn. And I'm like, fucking idiots. Physics. Notre Dame is made of wood from 18 something, and the cross is gold. That doesn't have enough heat to melt the cross. So the cross couldn't melt because gold takes Kelvin, not even Celsius or Fahrenheit. It's so hot in order to melt gold for it to run. It takes Kelvin. But guess what? You see, when it goes through that process and the dross comes out, the price of the gold, because it's pure gold, you're being purified into pure gold. So you have to go through the refining process. You're being refined. The universe is refining you, and it has to get rid of the frequencies, the energies that are not aligned with you. If those people had stayed in your life, they would have impacted your mission. They would have sent you psychic attacks. They're doing that. That's why Michael and Faith is around you.
I know. I literally removed 3 curses, a hex, and a spell from me this week. I'm not kidding. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because of it.
That's why you're
spot on again, right? Yeah.
That's why Sanat and all of them are around you, because what you're doing, your light is irritating their demons. So they have to get rid of them. Where you're going, honey, you're going where they can't go. So they couldn't take you. And talking about light, so the other card we have is the crown chakra upgrade. So basically, I wish you could see your crown chakra. So your crown chakra is way open than the last time that I was here, because no, I'm seeing it as a lotus flower. A lot of the petals. I
literally got an eye twitch when you said that. That's weird. My eyes were. They're joking around. I swear. Wow.
Laura, they were telling you to close your mouth, lol.
Yeah, I haven't been this shocked over a reading in so fucking long.
So I'm seeing the way I'm seeing your head. I'm seeing like the skull kind of stops right here, and the entire top of your head is a beautiful white lotus flower. The parts in the middle parts in the middle are still closed, but you have more petals open now than when I was on here with you the last time. So what they're saying is that your spirituality is deepening. You're getting back to source. You're getting back that ultimate source connection. We all have it, but we all chose to be separate and to forget it while we are here. So what's happening with you is you're growing in leaps and I want to cry to how happy I feel for you. You're growing in leaps and bounds. Your ascension, your Merkaba. Now they're telling me they're saying that your Merkaba it's your Merkaba is speeding up. So your Merkaba is losing the edges. Now I'm looking at you. Spiritual beings see you in an orb. You know that?
Yes.
They see you in an orb. And so your Merkaba doesn't have all the edges are going. And the more you ascend, the more the edges are gonna go. So basically, because you're ascending, your light body is spinning faster and faster and faster. And that's what the Merkaba, well, you know, when we see orbs, it's because those beings, their Merkaba spin so fast that it forms a circle, and the same thing is happening to you. I told you you're 10th dimensional, and it just told me that again. To remind you, you're not a mere human. You're a 10th dimensional being who decided to come here. Your love for, you were here in Atlantis, and you saw what happened. You saw the death and the destruction, and you wanted to help humanity. You could have left. You could have, because you were given the chance in Atlantis to leave, and you decided to stay to help humanity.
Wow.
So you chose to die. You literally were one of the ones who chose to, the love you have. This is the thing, your pure love and the love you have. It's like you looked at the people with the same love that Source looked at the people, and you were like, I can't let them, you know, even though they're going to die, but I can't let them die, if you get what I mean. So you chose to die, to stay here, and been fighting this war ever since.
Well, that certainly resonates. I don't doubt that for a second. Wow.
So, yep. And one Lil say you know him. Fucking hell.
Huh? What? Who?
What? Enlil says you know him. Enlil and Enki. You know Enlil and Enki?
Oh, fuck.
No, Enlil. Enki.
You know what's funny is, do you know who the being is that's fucking with Andy and I? Is Marduk. So that doesn't surprise me one bit.
Enki's son.
The one that quite literally has told me I can't say the word organite is Marduk.
Yeah, that's Enki's son. That's Enki's
son. That's why I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, Enlil is a good one. Enlil
I know, that's why.
And Enlil says,
they were the two brothers that I know all about it thanks to the Tegettans, yeah.
Enlil says you know him personally. You have worked with him.
Wow.
I tell you, honey, you are. And then that just popped in my head.
All of this resonates. You don't even know, Loy, how much this is spot on to the stuff that I've been hearing lately. That is, oh my God. Like, what? I get this one. I was myself here. I've got so much heat coming through me right now. Like, I'm burning up. I don't have the heating on in the room, and I'm like on fire right now. And hearing this, my brain is like, because seriously, this is what I've been hearing for a couple days now, and I have been like, oh, okay. I brush it off because I don't, you know what I mean? People say a lot of shit, and it's hard to. God damn it.
So you brushed it off, and you see what they did? They made your person fall sick, and you had to message. Everybody, you chose to message me. I know you had people you could have messaged, but look at it. See how universe works? You were getting the information, you were brushing it off. And I haven't been able to catch a live or yours, I can't tell you, because of stuff that I have going on. I haven't been able to watch one of yours, so I don't even know anything that's going on your lives. And everybody that chose me to come and hear for a reason. You can't brush the message off when it comes out in front of everybody.
I feel like spirit just shook me. You know what I mean? Like, are you paying attention yet? Like, that's kind of how I feel. Oh my God. All right, we gotta do a reading for somebody else, or I'm gonna have a panic attack.
Oh my Lord. This episode is sponsored by the color red. What does that mean? This episode is
I'm
sponsored by the
blushing.
color.
I can feel myself blushing right now. It's probably what he's talking about. Daniel's being cheeky.
By the way, if anyone here wants a session, want a reading, I do have availability.
Yeah, I'll share your. That's true. Hang on, Loy. I'm gonna get your page.
I think my link tree. If you go on my page, Laura, you can just copy my link tree because it just.
You got it. I got it, baby girl.
If anyone wants to partake of this,
Loy is amazing, as you guys can all see. You got to get a reading from Loy because holy shit, girl, you are on fire. It's not just my lotus that's open. Yours is just like.
It's like for me, once I come.
Hold on, I'm gonna get her link tree as well. That's so you can follow Loy on Facebook, and I've also got her link tree coming up right here. Bam, there's her link tree.
Ray, I thought as soon as I read that question, I saw Three of Pentacles in my head, and Three of Pentacles is partnership. You can't do this alone, honey. You need help. So I read your question and I just immediately saw the Three of Pentacles in my head. And that's a card of collaboration. So you need people to collaborate with for that. Alrighty. So
wonderful.
Who else?
Well, let's go with number 9. I've seen a few people say number 9. So if you've got a 9 in your head, this reading is for you.
So now my number 9. Hold on. Number 9. Lady Gaia.
Hi, Charlie. Yeah, I see your comment, honey. We're just doing readings for the collective right now. So we're doing intuitive readings. So basically, if it resonates with you, the message is meant for you. We are picking numbers between 1 and 10, but really it's just so we can kind of organize the readings a little bit and make it easier for people.
All right,
to
so
kind of resonate
with it. No, talk, Laura.
No, you're fine, honey. I was just explaining that we are doing readings. We're just doing them a little differently today because we've already been on here for a while.
So my number 9s, Lady Gaia. Lady Gaia keeps coming up. Some of you 9s, your life situation may not be the best right now. You may be going through some harsh challenges. You may be going through some things, but Lady Gaia wants to tell you, grow through what you go through. And the analogy that she's given me to tell you is Earth. That Earth is named after her. No, she wants to say that this planet has been destroyed. There have been 5 mass extinctions. No, I'll explain that. Every time that we get to a certain, we can't destroy ourselves again. Thank God. Laura, thank you. I was a baby at the time, but I would say, thank you for your work that you've been doing all along. Since 1987, we have lost the ability to destroy ourselves. When the Great Convergence happened, then 2012 further boosted that, and then 2019 with COVID, 2020 further boosted that. So we will never have another mass extinction. We can't destroy ourselves again, because the mass extinctions literally were, every time we are here and we do it wrong, the experiment, they have to literally wipe us out. They have to shift the plates, shift the poles and shift the plates and just cause some earth things to happen, and then boom, earth goes up and a new thing is here and we start over again from scratch. No, I want to say that what Lady Gaia is telling me to say is, remember, earth has been destroyed 5 times. Won't blow your mind? Everything that is here, plant, as much as you think we have plant species, as much as you think we have animals, everything that's here is only from 3% of life. The last mass extinction, when that, and I'll say this, when
disaster.
Not.
Or you talking about the mud floods?
That's the one I was going to go to.
You're talking about the mud floods. Yeah. The Tarsha. Yes.
Yeah. So when that happened, and every 3% of life was left, guess what? Gaia couldn't be like, you know what? I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm gonna just out of the universe, out to the solar system. Gaia had to, in Jamaica, we say wheel and come again, meaning that she had to adapt to evolve. She had to figure out a way to keep life going because you know
Yeah.
what? Gaia knew another set of people are going to come here in order to learn their lessons and go through all of these things. So she had to adapt to overcome. This is the same thing I'm going to say to you, number nines. Adapt to overcome. Whatever you're going through, it doesn't matter how harsh the situation. First thing, don't blame God. Please, for God's sake, stop saying, God, why did you do this to me? God doesn't plan anybody's lives. We here have free will. Before every single one of us come here, we sit and we plan our lives with our guide. So I want to say that God didn't do that. And Lady Gaia just wants to tell you that see the things that happen as learning experiences here on earth. How we learn is through the experiences that we have. Everything is for a lesson. If you start seeing life in terms of what's this teaching me? What is going on here? Then when you start to see life like that, things will change. So I want to say right now, put your hand on your heart and tell yourself that you would not give yourself a lesson that you don't know how to solve. Yeah, you wouldn't give yourself. Remember, your oversoul knows. So anything you're going through, it is for a reason. Now, the Pleiadians are here as well. So wow, damn. Who? And it's the ones who damn. Funny enough, the Pleiadians I'm seeing are from Alcyone. I don't know why. Alycone, and they're showing me Maia too.
Interesting.
Yeah, like they're showing me Alcyone and they're showing me Maya. What's that? I don't normally get things that puzzle me, but
Alcyone and Maya are two other, like, for example, Taygeta is where the Taygetans are from. The Pleiadians that I'm from, that's where Era is, the planet Era. But Alcyone and Maya are two other solar systems within the constellation of the Pleiades. So they are, the Maya, for example, are where the Maya people, the Mayans people come from.
huh.
The Hopi as well. And I'm trying to think of who comes from Alcyone. I might be the Lyra. I don't know.
Look,
I can't remember.
this is really the last message, Laura. I want to cry. The second to last message. The lady says, in her language, Maya is peace. I don't know why, but they just show, and like I said, they don't normally just, now they're telling me that I'm going to have to go research. Dear God.
This is I'm serious. They talk about this all the time on the Cosmic Agency channel. That's where they talk about the Pleiades. There's a whole video all about it. I'm gonna send you. In fact, I'll find the link right now so I can post it for you guys. It's one of my favorite videos that I have saved on YouTube.
I'm asking my guides, and they're chuckling at me like, "Yeah, you gotta go research now."
But yeah, I have that video ready to go. Where is it?
The message that I'm getting from the message that I'm getting for the here in Alcyone and Maya is that for you nines, you're here to bring harmony and peace on earth. That's a huge part of your mission, is basically being here to bring the balance back between the divine feminine and the divine masculine that has been skewed for the last 12,500 years. So in order to overthrow the patriarchy, a lot of you are going through stuff with men, like, you know, in order to understand and overthrow the patriarchy, you have to kind of like been under the patriarchy. Like for me, I have experienced the bad side of a man, so it makes me understand certain things. But for you, the ones I'm seeing with this Pleiadian thing, they're saying that honor your sensitivity. You're very, very sensitive. It is not a curse. It's a gift, because that sensitivity helps you to tune into the world around you and to tune into people's emotions. And if you can't help people if you're not sensitive to people. If you're going to really help people, you have to be empathetic and sensitive and understand. But they're telling you that the mission, your whole mission here, is to bring the balance between the divine feminine and the divine masculine back. Mary Magdalene, the Holy Grail. So for you guys, your homework, look up about, there's something, they're showing me Mary Magdalene and they're showing me the Holy Grail. What, Laura? Laura, what is it, Laura? What is it? What is it?
It's a long story, but the Tegetans, one of them was Mary Magdalene, or at least I believe one of them was, because it's a long story. It's Cleopatra's sister. Her real name was Arsinoe. It's a really long story that the Tegetans have talked about, which I'll actually share the link on. I have been trying to organize a retreat to Turkey to where Mary Magdalene was killed, where Arsinoe was killed in Ephesus. Because I've felt a very strong connection towards her for a long time, and I wasn't sure why. And it's funny you talk about that because I was literally just talking with somebody 2 days ago about the retreat that we're planning to do for Mary Magdalene. We wanted to do a 2-part one where we go to Alexandria in Egypt, where she was born and raised. We were even considering going to Paris, or not Paris, France, because she was protected by the Cathars there for so long. I've been to her chapel on Rennes-le-Chateau in France. There's the chapel for Mary Magdalene that was built on an Isis temple that was destroyed, and then they built the Mary Magdalene temple right next to a Merovingian castle, and I've been inside the temple. It's a long story, but there we could do a whole nother podcast on just what I know about Mary Magdalene. I'm not even kidding.
Wow.
And the places that I've been to several places where she went too. And I've always been kind of very much like, oh, I love her. I just want to learn everything I can about her. So the Tegetans, when they released a video, in fact, I'm going to find it for you guys right now, because the Tegetans released a video about Mary Magdalene. And it's a little upsetting, to be honest, because of what she went through. Mostly because of her sister, Cleopatra, who's a real bitch, no offense or anything. But Cleopatra was not a very nice person, according to the Tegetans.
Yeah, if you understand history, I study history, guys, and I'll tell you this, Cleopatra just basically, she was one of them women who used her to get where she wanted to go. She's a
very powerful, very intelligent woman, but she was not compassionate, and she killed her own siblings.
Oh no, she wasn't.
She could keep her power.
But you're right, Laura. Like I say, from what I gather from her, we try to, romanticize her. But nah, she was the type of person who she decided that if she came into your land and she wanted your kingdom, if she means that she gonna fuck the king to get it and get rid of you. That's why I said she was her body.
I shared the video for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. The Tegetans shared a long video about the real history of Mary Magdalene, and I just shared it in the comments. I bawled my eyes out watching it, listening to what they did to her. And then, you know what's crazy? They talk about, at the end of the video, they talk about how there was a tomb that was built for her, that Cleopatra built a octagonal tomb in Ephesus where she was killed by Roman soldiers. And I thought to myself, well, Ephesus is a ruin. They must have found the tomb then, if that's really a thing. So I searched octagonal tomb in Ephesus, and they really did find a 19-year-old woman buried in the tomb, deep below the tomb. So they didn't even find her at first. And then the first thing that happened, you know what they did? They stole her skull. And that's what the Illuminati does. Every time they find a very powerful body, like it doesn't matter if it's a mummy or whoever, they'll take the skull as one of their trophies. And then they take it to one of their locations, one of their secret places. So, I mean, you guys should watch that video. Like I said, it's really upsetting. But I felt the truth in it very much. I resonated with that whole thing. And they talk a little bit about Jesus and how she was a follower of his and how they did, you know what I mean? It's a long story. But just the history has always been so complicated. Our past is so full of misinformation and just confusion that we end up believing things that are so far from the truth. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so glad that the Tegetans are making these videos and kind of redoing history. They did one on Titanic the other day that blew me away, that the real Titanic never sank, it's a long story, but they switched the names. It was another ship. It was an older ship that was having all kinds of problems, and they redid the ship, and then changed the
I
name
heard
to
that.
Titanic, and then they destroyed it on purpose because of all the Federal Reserve people that were on it.
But guess what? Did you know that this was a thing that was planned too? Because do you know the dude wrote the book in
It's the whole thing. They
about
talk about it.
1860 something or 50 something like the way he wrote the book about exactly what happened with Titanic. And
I
I'm like, but
know
again,
we're bouncing all over the place, but my point is that you guys really should check out their videos on Cosmic Agency about redoing history, just because it resonates so much more. It's funny because there's so many stories in the history books, and I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. But now I'm hearing their version of it, and I'm like, now it makes complete sense. You know, it's like it really helps
I want them
to be
to
able
have
to
they
identify
done,
these things.
if you can ask, have they done one on Tartaria? Because that one is the one I want to get into. But man, you know Tartaria,
Oh,
where
man.
they literally covered up an entire race of everything. That's the one I want them to get into.
Well, Tartaria was like the most powerful nation on Earth. If they had allowed it to continue, they never would have been able to change our history. So yeah. So you're right. We're totally getting off course here, and it's already been 2 hours. But I could talk to you all day. You're so much fun.
Thank you. Like I say,
let's get a couple more numbers. Somebody that doesn't resonate before. Yes, exactly, Andy. You nailed it. What Andy just said there. Yep, you guys gotta check out that video. Andy says the Olympia had severe damage but wasn't insured, so they renamed it Titanic that was insured. Yes, exactly, Andy. You got to check it out, the video on the Titanic on Cosmic Agency. It'll blow your mind. It validated everything that I already knew. Just love it. All right, so we haven't like 5 yet. I like 5. Let's do with a 5.
Our messages for my 5. What messages?
Yeah, message for the 5s.
All right, so my 5s. I got Hathor. Hathor is coming through.
Catherine's coming through, but I'm sure some of you also have a 5 in your head, so this message is also for you.
All right, so that's the final card here. Ooh. So what I have for you guys, I didn't get a Hathor card, but that was the first energy when I tapped in that came in. There are people right here who are followers of Hathor in her day when she was alive on Earth. And I feel like one of the 5 people, because somebody here, she's telling me no that one of her followers, one of her high priestesses that used to do. Wow.
Now, Loy is making herself gobsmacked now. This is going to be good. What?
So, what she showed me, she just gave me a glimpse. I literally had to mentally hold on to it. So she gave me a glimpse. It's underground. It's where this is, because I look up and I don't see any light. This is either in one of the pyramids or it's deep underground. But there's a ceremony going on. There's a pool. Hathor is at the top right there. Damn, I can't. She's glowing. It's like, ooh. And there are 6 ladies on either side. And she's telling me that the one at the left, on her left, is her high priestess. So there's someone here who you have worked with, Hathor. And she's saying that you've forgotten. That's what I keep hearing in my head. You've forgotten. It's time to wake up. It's time to remember. She says you have the codes, but you won't remember that you have the codes until you wake up. Now, she's also encouraging, possibly, if it's possible, a visit to Dendera. But if not, find art. Like, I'm getting research in my head, but she keeps saying that you've forgotten. It's like you're not remembering. But this is a one specific person here. There's someone here.
And again, getting goosebumps right now? Anybody getting chills?
There's one. The person
resonating with this
again. This is someone who basically, she's telling me now that this is someone who was in training. She was killed. She knew too much.
Well, Catherine is the one that picked a 5. Maybe it is you, Catherine.
That says she knew too much. She's telling me that the person knew too much. And so
Anyone
they
that's
had,
getting chills, this message is for you. That's the universe validating right now.
it said the person had too much spiritual knowledge. She knew too much. She knew too much. And so that's why this person got killed. And she's sad, like she's really sad about it, but she's saying it's time to wake up, it's time to wake up, it's time to wake up. She says, you know,
It
you have
really
the
is.
codes. She says you have to wake up now because the codes, humanity needs the codes. They need the codes. I don't know what codes, but she keeps telling me that you got to wake up. She says you have to wake up, you have to wake up. She says, you know. Like, what's funny, she's repeating the words. Like when I'm hearing it, the words, they're being emphasized and repeated. They say you have to wake
Is this
up.
from a card, or is this just
No, I didn't
intuitive
get
that
a
you're getting?
card. I didn't get a card.
Okay.
I didn't get a card for that. But I'm just, as soon as you said the number and I started tuning, she came up like I saw her in front of me. But she's saying, you know. And you have to
Oh,
wake up
interesting.
because
Maybe one of you that had a number 5 in your head, that's why the number came through. Maybe that's why the message is coming through now. So who knows? Listen to your intuition. This is the thing. So many of us have such complicated histories, and we're here to make these big changes, and they're using us, these spirits, these divine beings. They need our help while we're down here. They need a conduit to channel that energy and to get their messages out. And so that's why I'm sure many of them are actually kind of frustrated, like, what's going on? Listen.
I
What did you
shuffled
get?
and it jumped out the deck.
Holy fuck.
You saw me shot and it, oh, the only card out the deck.
Holy shit, Loy. First Siddhartha, and now Hathor literally jumps out the deck as you're talking about her.
I felt the urge to take up the deck and shove, and it flew out sideways. And
Wow.
there's some cards on my desk, and it didn't come out where those cards were. It went over to the side so I could see. So she's really here. Look, Mary, read that, Laura. Read Mary Garner's message.
I got the same message a couple months ago. I was killed because I knew too much about my parents in this life, no less. I was a Mother Mary, High Priestess. Wow. Maybe it is for you, Mary. Listen to your intuition, you know? Or book a session with Loy and she can validate it for you.
Yeah. Like she keeps saying, you know. She's saying you have, but this is, whoever this is, it's important that you start. And I feel like once you start researching her, this for you is like opening the gate so she can come in. So you're going to find that she's going to be, whoever it is, you're going to find she's going to be coming up a lot more because she's saying, she's adamant. She says the codes, she says we need the codes, and you have the codes within you. And she keeps saying that, you know it, and we need the codes. So whoever this is, you're being called. It's a call to action. Yeah. This is like, your call to action.
You're just mic dropping all over the place today, Loy. Jesus, you're on fire.
I'm just giving out the message.
Wow.
I'm just a messenger. I'm just giving out what they're telling me. No, I love my cards. I will tell you this, Annie. You see, cards, as much as I channel and do all of this, that's why I have 80 decks. Cards are not saying playthings, but cards I just love. So, Lara, one more if my throat is getting.
No, you're fine. All right, let's see. Throw up some numbers, guys. We'll pick a number we haven't picked yet. Let's do it intuitively.
Hi, Dree. Good morning.
We have time for one more reading, guys.
And I'm making my own. Yeah,
numbers for us.
Janet, I've bought so much that I'm creating my own. I'll let you guys know about that. That's in the works. So
many people are picking 10 right now. I'm seeing 10 constantly. All right, we'll just do this to the 10s and the 1s. Technically, this is 1s and 10s for both.
No, they say go back to the tarot. All right. I see yes written in my head in clouds. And they're saying you need to stop procrastinating. Yeah, I see yes, the word yes. As soon as I took my tarot deck up, like I was shuffling with that one, And I touch the tarot deck and I see the words yes in my head. And I'm also here and you need to stop procrastinating. So for my 10s and my 1s, if you're procrastinating, if there's any, procrastination of so going on, they're saying it's time to quit procrastinating and get moving.
There's no time to procrastinate anymore. Shit's getting down to the wire, 5D is imminent. I can feel it. I mean, the amount of messages and craziness going on right now, and archangels popping up, like, shit's hitting the fan, you guys. I can feel it. It's coming.
Give me one more card. Okay.
2024 is going to be exciting as hell.
All right.
Sure. It's only been 2 weeks. Like,
said stop procrastinating, and you have a wheel of fortune. So the wheel of fortune, this is things being moved. In life, it's like you throw a stone on a pond and the ripple effects. So this is where you're at right now. The universe is saying that things are shifting, things are changing, things are turning. You're literally moving into a new cycle. You see how we just closed out a year and we're in a new year. This is where you're at in your life. This is the same thing. So they're saying, put your focus on the future, the ripple effects that are going on in your life. Look at each ripple carefully and basically see how you can utilize the energy of the ripples that's going on around you. But like I say, they say stop procrastinating and get to work. Now here you have a 7 of Pentacles. Pentacles represent money. So this Pentacles card here, this is about money, but I have 2 Pentacles. Let me get the other one. So this is a Knight of Pentacles and a 7 of Pentacles. And I'll tell you, what you're doing is going to bring the results, but it's not going to bring the results as fast as you want. So this 7 of Pentacles, my interpretation is this is about doing the work. Now, if you look on this card here, you'll see this lady. She has, let me move my finger. She's in her vineyard and you can see she's looking at the grapes. You see how she's dressed? She is dressed for work. She has a book here. She has a half drunken glass of wine. So this is about her looking at her handiwork and tweaking it and working on it and be like, see Laura drinking her tea. She's drinking her wine. She's like, she drink the wine and she's like, how can I tweak these grapes so I can have a better, whatever wine whenever we do this again. And you can know she has her book so that she can write down whatever she needs to do. Now this is about doing the work. It's Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, so this is going to multiply. So this is saying do the work, pay attention to what you're doing, due diligence, make sure that you are doing all of that, and the results are going to come. No, this is a knight. The knight is the only knight in the deck who is not, I gotta get there. He's slow and steady, wins the race, slow and steady. He's like, because you know why? He's making sure that he does everything that he needs to do. He lays the foundation. He has his tools. The knight want to make sure when he gets to the end, his tower doesn't crumble because the foundation wasn't built good enough. There wasn't a proper foundation, it was already done. So the knight, he's going slowly because he wants to make sure that at every step of the way, he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He don't want when he, 10,000 bottles of wine and he has to throw all of them out because he hurried the process. So this is saying whatever you're working on in your life, it's going to work out because here you have the world. It is going to work out. The world is your oyster. You can have whatever you want. But you see, just like the world is the last card in the major arcana, you have to go through all the other cards to get there. So do the things that you want to work on. It's going to take some time, but that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It is going to happen, but your guides want you to put the work in to lay something sturdy. You're building a winery. You want the next 200 years, Chateau, whatever it is a top brand of wine. And if you don't do what you need to do in the vineyard, no, you will never have the wine that you want. So put in the work in the vineyard. If you gotta get down on your knees and weed, whatever you need to do, the universe is saying, do it so that you can reap the results when it comes. This is also saying don't rush things. So if there are any documents to sign, please read all the fine print. Don't rush anything because you don't want your house to tumble on you in the future. That's what I have for my 10s and 1s. The universe is saying, get going. Stop procrastinating. Stop procrastinating. Wow. Alrighty, so
Mary just wants to say, I'm still tripping on that last message. Just hearing it again and made a major step in my life recently. I feel an awakening coming on. I will definitely message Loy. I've been following her for a few months, and then this message. The universe is bringing me to who I need to communicate with and complete my journey. I can't wait for the replay to listen to it again. Thank you, Mary. This is why we're here. You know, this is why we do these podcasts every day, is just to help the collective and help ourselves and just come together and make it a community. And it's just, as Siddhartha said, we already know each other. You know, many of us are just reconnecting at this very crucial time in history right now, where we're going to end up changing the whole shebang.
I can't wait.
Shaking up the whole show. I know. I'm
that's
so
why
excited.
I get up. That's why for me, guys, every day I get up and my one, literally I ask, who can I help today? And when you mess this morning, when I replied to you, you know, I got up, I did my thingy, and I asked, I was like to the universe, who am I gonna help today? What am I gonna? And I went in my messages and I saw you. I'm like, oh.
Amazing. I'm gonna share your link tree again for everybody. There you go. For those of you who want to catch up with Loy and get one of her insanely accurate readings, please do. Holy shit, Loy, is all I can say today. This has been quite an adventure with you this morning.
Thank you. It's always an adventure when I get on here.
It was meant to be. This was a very serendipitous conversation, without a doubt. So wonderful.
The universe, like I said, spirit knew what it was doing because it made your original person get sick, and I was luckily able to reorganize. When I messaged a person, she was like, "Oh, you know what? Something came up for me too." So, and I was like, "Perfect."
There we go. Today, just to plug a few things in Divinate, today at 3 p.m., there's going to be in the paid membership a conversation with, a workshop with Laura Whitworth, who will be discussing entities and emotions and their correlation between the two. So that is a really big one that you guys don't want to miss. You don't want to miss out on Laura Whitworth. Set an alarm or something. So make sure that something gets your attention at 3 p.m. You don't want to miss it. And also at 7:30 tomorrow, there's also going to be, at 7:30 today, 7:30 today, there's going to be Mantra Magic with Daniela and Abby, Forgiveness, and the Ho'oponopono. And we've also got Kaya. Don't forget Kaya at 9:30 in the morning EST. She's doing those wonderful activations for us that are so helpful. And I also have a message for you about joining Divinate, because we're getting you on Divinate.
I need to. It's like I'm gonna talk to you off the year, but
we'll talk just now. Yes, we'll talk just now. I love you guys. I hope you all have a wonderful day.
I got a new name. You saw I got a new name?
What's that? Legit Loy. Yes, that's your new name. Legit Loy.
Oh my God.
I like you that. Perfectly.
Thank you, Chantal. You're making me blush. You can't see what look.
You are so adorable, Loy. I love you to bits.
Laura,
thank you.
You're talking about making me blush. I didn't know Black people could tan. The first time it happened, I went to the doctor because I was like, something's wrong with me.
She's glowing now, guys. You're making her glow. Look at.
We're not too long.
I love it.
Laura, I got sunburned, and I didn't know I thought I had cancer.
Oh, you are so funny.
Thank
you so much for the vibes today. You're just amazing. You really are. Mwah. I love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.